Just a few scattered showers on Fort Live radar this afternoon, but we're monitoring a potential flooding threat for later tonight. Karen?
Also, first at 4, Michigan State makes new promises trying to end the Larry Nassar abuse scandal. We'll look at the changes the university is making. The Trump administration unveils new immigration rules for people who come here legally. We'll take a look at who's affected. Paula.
I'm going to introduce you to these two local teenagers who are actually doing what many adults can't even dream. Their research will be launched into space, but get your dictionary ready so you don't get lost in translation.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, we are watching this, the radar for you, now through tomorrow morning as some heavy rains head this way. Some of us could actually see some flooding. For the latest, let's get to meteorologist Ben Bailey. How is this going to play out?
Yeah, Karen, the worst of it is going to be later on tonight. In fact, it's going to get progressively worse after 12 o'clock. But the stuff that we're watching for the afternoon and evening right now is just garden variety showers. We may see occasionally a strong thunderstorm pop up, but most of what shows up this afternoon should stay below severe limits. Once we get past sunset, and especially after midnight tonight, that's when we transition from watching just a few thunderstorms to some more widespread rain. And this is going to stack up. By early tomorrow, we're looking at pockets of 1 to 2 and possibly isolated spots of up to 3 inches of rain. Most of this is going to be from the city south. So we'll talk more about the timing of this and see if it's the only headache that we have to worry about in your 7-day forecast. Karen?
All right, thank you, Ben. Also, first at 4, a deal has been made. Michigan State University and the feds have reached an agreement in the Larry Nassar civil rights probe. MSU has agreed to improve its process for investigating sexual misconduct complaints and will revise any non-discrimination policies. The university will also begin a new chaperone policy, which requires a chaperone for any sensitive exam, and the patient must be provided a gown for privacy. These new changes are required since MSU receives federal health funding. A local landlord had confronted the man who attacked her, robbed her, and then left her terrified. 48-year-old Shane Fountain will spend the next 9 to 22.5 years behind bars. It was last April when police say Fountain strangled his 27-year-old landlord, who then later faked being unconscious. He then stole her wedding ring, and police later tracked him to Washington, D.C., where he was arrested. Fountain pleaded no contest to those charges. His victim, meantime, spoke out today, saying she still feels the pain of the attack.
The sheer terror, confusion, and the feelings of violation that I felt then, I still feel today. I feared for my life. I truly thought I was going to die. I had no idea why.
Fountain spoke at his sentencing, apologizing to the victim. The judge also ruled Fountain has to pay back the money he got for selling that ring, and the victim will also be getting her engagement ring back. They were able to track that one down. An investigation underway after a man is found dead inside of a Dearborn home. This morning, police responded to a call about an injured person at a home on Appeline Street. That's near Ford Road. Officers found the body of a 26-year-old man from Marine City. Right now, officers are looking for clues and are trying to figure out how that man died. Anyone with information on this case is asked to call Dearborn Police. We do have an update now on a rap concert that was canceled last night because of threats of a mass shooting. Police are on the hunt right now for that person who made those calls threatening a mass shooting during the Beast Coast concert at the Freedom Hill Amphitheater. One call was made to Auburn Hills Police, the other to Sterling Heights PD. Originally, the concert was set to continue after the threats, but promoters shut it down. Detectives are tracing the calls for clues. Once caught, the caller could face terrorism charges, which carries more than a 20-year prison sentence. We do have breaking news from Ohio. That's where prosecutors there have charged a friend of mass shooting suspect Connor Betts. Betts is accused of shooting 9 people outside of that Dayton bar on August 4th. Prosecutors say his friend, Ethan Colley, bought the armor that Betts wore, also bought a gun accessory and a 100-round magazine. They say Colley did not know his friend was planning a mass shooting, but Colley did hide the items at his home so Betts' parents wouldn't find them. Right now, Colley is charged with lying on federal firearms forms. The charges are not connected to the actual shooting, but prosecutors are sending a message.
Anyone who is discovered to have any criminal culpability for any act that ultimately is discovered through the investigation or contributed in any way to the events on August 4th is going to be held criminally responsible.
Colley faces a detention hearing that goes on Wednesday, and if convicted for lying on those forms, he faces up to 15 years in prison. The Trump administration is toughening the rules on immigration. It's a move that could deny green cards and permanent residency for many people seeking to enter the U.S. because they're poor. Kimberly Gill joins us with a closer look at those changes that were announced today. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. Since even before he won the White House, President Trump has fought against undocumented immigrants. Well, now his administration is moving aggressively to enforce rules that will affect legal immigrants. And those rules have a lot to do with money. So the new rules make it clear that most legal immigrants should not have to rely on government-funded assistance programs. Green cards will likely be denied to immigrants receiving food stamps, Medicaid, housing vouchers, or other forms of assistance. Critics say the rule makes it difficult for the poor to come to the U.S. in an effort to become American citizens. The administration, though, says the goal is to have immigrants stand on their, quote, own 2 feet. The rule is projected to save federal and state governments nearly $2.5 billion a year.
The benefit to taxpayers is a long-term benefit of seeking to ensure that our immigration system is bringing people to join us as American citizens, as legal permanent residents first, who can stand on their own 2 feet, who will not be reliant on the welfare system, especially in the age of the modern welfare state, which is so expansive and expensive, frankly.
Yeah. And the rules allow for exceptions, including military members, asylum seekers, as well as refugees. The new immigration rules, Karen, will take effect in mid-October. We'll have more coming up on the news at 5. Until then, let's send it back to you.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Kim. The death of Jeffrey Epstein will not stop the sex trafficking investigation that surrounded him. We're still waiting for final results of an autopsy, as the coroner says investigators are waiting for more information. Epstein apparently took his own life Saturday morning while in prison awaiting trial. Several investigations are looking into why he wasn't under better supervision. Attorney General William Barr says there were, quote, serious irregularities at that federal jail. And he says any co-conspirators in the sex trafficking case could still face charges. 2 local teenagers are achieving something most adults wouldn't even dare to dream about. They will be literally reaching for the stars as an experiment they designed is heading to the International Space Station. Paula Tutman takes us to Troy, where we get to see sheer genius on display. But a word of caution, you might need your dictionary for this one.
Okay, so I want you to stay with me for a moment because it is possible that your eyes may actually glaze over for just a moment. Meet 18-year-old Yuji Wang, who's attending
University of California, Berkeley.
And studying
EECS, which is Electrical Engineering Computer Science.
And 18-year-old Finsam Samson, who's attending
University of Michigan, Ann Arbor.
And studying
Biomedical Engineering.
Recent grads from Troy High School. Their curiosity to understand how the brain changes in space has won the attention of some of the most distinguished and brilliant minds in the world. The Genes in Space contest invites the brightest young minds between the ages of 12 and 18 from across the country to compete. It starts with about 800 teams, narrows to 5, and then to 1 winning idea. These guys have it.
A research proposal that utilizes PCR, which is basically a tool that molecular biologists use to amplify DNA.
PCR, polymerase chain reaction. Translation, genetic code photocopy.
What you can do is you can basically split the DNA apart and then afterwards reverse transcribe more DNA.
So here's what they're working on.
In general, we found a new model, the cerebral organoids that Finsam mentioned.
Organoid, translation, like an organ, but it's tiny and grown on a dish. Now, it can actually be grown from a stem cell, right? But it can be multiplied and grown into anything you want it to be. By studying astronauts' brain scans, it was found out that their brains change in space.
There were some changes in cognitive data that were seen, but it's difficult to understand why. The power of the study that we're proposing is that it'll give us a lot of new data, new layers of information.
And if they can find that out, they can figure out a whole lot of other stuff.
There are actually differences that were observable in the brain scans of these astronauts.
Particularly the cavities in our brain, they're called ventricles, that have the fluids. They expand in spaceflight after looking at astronauts that have been in space. And that is similar to that expansion of that cavity, the ventricles, that happens when people age. In the past, we've had lots of great experiments using human tissue, animal model tissue, but it's very difficult to get human neural tissue up in space.
Okay, so just making sure, did you get all that? If you didn't, don't worry about it. The world is just plain a better place because these two 18-year-olds are thinking about it. They don't have a deadline to finish the protocol for their research, but they believe that they will actually be able to get that protocol ready to be launched into space by April. Translation, rock stars. Karen?
Paula, I love this story, and I so appreciated those translations. I really did. We appreciate it. Thank you.